I feel great. Obviously, I think it was I was in a really bad spot in that match, despite feeling like I was playing well and doing everything that I kind of wanted to do out there. So yeah, I'm happy to get it done.
Ben?
How'd you sleep with that sort of fifth set hanging over you? And I guess how do you find the conditions today compared to today?
Yeah, I mean, I slept fine. Obviously, I wanted to play last night, but and just because I do feel like we had the time to play the fifth set last night. You know, if we didn't have the time, then I understand there's no point of starting it. But we could have played if we both agreed to play, but I think, he didn't want to, and that's totally understandable. I wasn't, bothered or I guess upset at him for not wanting to play. I totally like, get it. But I still felt confident. I think it's easy. It would have been easy for me to get frustrated about not being able to play last night, but to be honest, I felt like confident going into the fifth set if it was last night or today. So I just had to, tell myself he's gonna be sleeping on what just happened in the fourth set, and I'm gonna come back and just keep doing what I've been doing.
How different were conditions today?
Maybe a little bit faster, but I slightly, but not too different. Obviously, with the roof open, there's gonna be like a little bit of wind, just a bit. I do feel like the roof closed probably helped him a lot because the ball is just not moving at all. There's nothing affecting the ball. It's just very easy to just tee off, strike it. That's how I've always felt with the roof closed as well.
Matt?
I mean, you thought the roof closed was an advantage for him, and yet you wanted to keep playing. So, like, is that momentum over conditions? And, like, what did the conversation go with? What do you think of that rule? And just sort of curious.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like last night, I just felt like I was going to win if I felt very confident if we kept playing. I felt good about it. I think, yeah, I do think the conditions were, I mean, he was playing great and anything could have happened last night, but it was more just like, I felt like we had the time to play. I was mentally in the headspace of like, we are finishing this match tonight. They told us before the match, hey, are you good to play until 11? We're going to stop at 11. So when I'm looking at the clock at the end of the fourth set, I'm thinking, oh, it's 10. There's no way that they're going to stop us. Like, we're for sure playing this fifth set. So the idea of stopping wasn't even in my mind. I thought, I was fully like tunnel visioned on like this match is finishing tonight. So, and what happened was, I get it. We both have to agree. And if we don't, then the referee makes a decision. What I didn't understand was why the referee, after he said what his decision was, he kept asking me. I think he just wanted me to like agree with them. But I said, I don't know why you keep asking me because I want to play. Stop asking me because you already said we're not playing. So I didn't get that.
Reem?
Taylor, congrats. I'm just wondering, the question of why they came at 10:15 or whatever to ask, what was their argument of like actually asking you? Because if they said you guys could play till 11, what was the point? What was the tournament side of that?
It was if we both agreed, then we could have played.
Yeah, but why is the question being posed? Like, why did they have to come down? Did they say anything about
Well,
that?
I guess what I understand is because hypothetically speaking, like, I guess with the rule, it's like a hard stop at 11. So it's more convenient to stop in the beginning of a fifth set than it is to stop if we are, again, hypothetically speaking, if we're 45 minutes in, maybe we're, I don't know, in the middle of a 10-point tiebreaker at 6-all. That's probably where we would be on that time frame if we don't finish. So I get it. What I was willing to do and what I told the referee was like, if there are no breaks, if we're 5-all, stop at 5-all. Like, that's fine. We are 100% getting to 5-all in that time frame. And if someone breaks, then the match is for sure finishing in that time frame. So that's kind of like where I was like saying compromise wise, because I understand you get to 11 and you're at a really awkward point in the match to stop. It's then you would have wished you, I guess, did what we did today.
Howard?
Hey, Taylor, What, in that moment, is it like having a 153 mile an hour serve coming at you? And what's the key to winning the point 100% of the time when you face serves?
I mean, I don't really mind it because it actually gives me absolutely zero time to think. And normally when I start thinking, that's when I I mess things up. So, you know, the fact that it's just all reflexes, and I think that's one of the things I do better in my return game when I like to stand close and chip and I'm holding a backhand grip. It's just handsy. It's just handsy in his reflexes. So I'd much rather deal with the speed than, you know, the spot.
John.
Taylor, Tommy was joking earlier. He was saying you were once a serve bot, now you're just a bot because you're really good at everything. What do you think of that term? I mean, obviously people might label Giovanni, you know, a serve bot. What do you think of that? Is it disrespectful?
I guess it depends on, it depends on who you are. Like, I think we use it as as like a funny term. And like, if someone calls me a bot, like I take it as a compliment. Yeah, like I'm a complete bot. Like I'm going to go out and just hold serve. But it depends if the person you're talking to is going to get offended by it or not. But
What do you think's the threshold? Like who, was that like, would Riley sort of?
no, if I call Riley a bot, he thinks it's hilarious and he knows he is. But
Are there fewer of them around? I mean, like, because you kind of have to.
yeah, but I mean,
more
to be
than
honest,
just
we
serve.
use it pretty loosely. Like anyone who's like a good server, we're just like, they're a bot. Because like we use it as a compliment just to say that like this person has a good serve. And to be honest, in this match, like I lost a lot of really big points that had nothing to do with the serve. Like I lost a lot of that. I mean, that's why the first and second set kind of got away with me. I lost some neutral rally points that I thought I played really well, where he genuinely outplayed me from the baseline. And I think that's where the first and second set really went wrong for me.
Sure.
Do you think Wimbledon has the balance right? Obviously, they've slowed down the courts a little bit, but you still have games like when your opponent's power. Do you think they've got the balance right between having a fast-paced game, but also making it sort of not too fast that we get back to perhaps where we were in the early noughties?
Yeah, I mean, I think the speed is pretty solid. I do think the courts. One thing I've been realizing this year that I haven't realized in past years with all the tournaments I've been playing, I actually feel like the grass is getting slower the more it gets played on. It almost plays a little faster when it's newer. So yet to see. I do feel like last year when I was in the quarterfinals, I felt like it was so slow. But I mean, it's definitely in a decent spot. I'm biased. I would like it a little bit faster, but as long as they don't make it slower, I think is fine.
Currycard said that he thinks he could serve it 260, 270k, which is about 167 miles an hour in the future. Is that realistic? Are we really potentially at that stage in the future?
What did he do? He did 153.
Yeah.
I mean, if he did 153, he could potentially do close to 160 in the right conditions. But I'd say the question is why? Like, there's no point. There's no point. Like, it's much better to hit 140 to a spot than just hit a ball, serve as hard as you can.
Avril?
Taylor, do you, obviously, I'm assuming you like having the advantage of your obviously very good serve, but when you're playing another server like him, is there any part of you that relishes the challenge of like, okay, we're kind of canceling each other out, now it's down to all of the other stuff, whether it's your well-rounded game that you've been working on or the mental side, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, historically, I feel like I really enjoy playing other big servers. I feel like in the past I'd say I have a pretty good record against other big servers because, I know I can go out and take care of my serve. And to be honest, I feel like I sometimes return big serves as well as I return not someone with not as good of a serve, to be honest. I think parts of it just work for me. I like using, I like returning with some pace. I don't need to take such a big swing to return. It's more turns into feel, and obviously I think takes a little bit of pressure off my return games when I feel like I can hold a bit easier. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, I thought I returned his serve yesterday and today about as well as I possibly could, and I think I definitely did my job returning wise in all the sets. I think the sets that the sets that I lost definitely weren't because I wasn't returning at serve. I put myself in really good opportunities. It was more lost some rallies and didn't convert some chances on my own serve.
Okay, Liam.
I'd say Liam from Quality Shots. Do you prefer in these tournaments such as Wimbledon with a curfew that sort of today you can consider it an extended, more stressful practice day with an extra set, or do you like in New York and in Melbourne matches that can potentially go into 2-3 a.m. in the morning and then trying to just recover for the next day ahead of the day after?
I would probably prefer to just have the late finish and then the extra day of recovery, because I'd say physically this scenario that we did is better, but mentally it's much tougher because I don't get that day where I can relax a bit and mentally like reset and kind of just get my mind on the next match, because I was, fully locked in for this match yesterday. I was last night afterwards. I didn't get a chance to rest, which you normally would after finishing a match. And then I wake up today and my mind's on this match, and now immediately I have to stay focused and readjust for this next match. So I'd say the mental part of it is more important, and at least if I finish very late, I still get that whole entire day to just mentally reset and like not worry that I'm playing a match the next day.
Okay, just two more. Simon.
I'd say that there are a lot of mothers on tour back playing, which is great, and we obviously talk a lot about that, and from the physical side for obvious reasons, and mental. But as a father, is it at all difficult to be on tour and travel when you have a child away from you?
Yeah, I mean, I wish the season was shorter for a lot of reasons, and that's a big one. I think every time I get to go home, I try to do the best I can with maximizing the time I can spend with my son, and I wish it was an easier situation where I could also bring him on tour with me, but there's things that are preventing that from happening. So I wish there was an easy fix for an easy answer for it, but there's not. I just need to, like I said, do the best I can to maximize my time when I'm not at tournaments, and also just FaceTime call, when I'm on the road.
Okay, last question.
Taylor, you said you use the term serve bot a bit loosely with anyone with a big serve. How do you classify your next opponent? He has a pretty decent serve, but I guess how do you just look ahead to that matchup and his progress?
Yeah, like I said, we say bot is like a compliment, so like he's a bot, but like, but he's good. He can play. Obviously, he can play. He can play from the back of the court. I've practiced with him. He's honestly has a very well-rounded game and can do a bit of everything.